Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And I continue with Tyranny, Blind. Now, this episode is going to be a little bit different because, as I said in the ending of the previous one, I'm redoing most of the things I've done in the Bastard Wound because I think it has been designed in a botched way. The game has railroaded me into killing Reef-Talon for Wagstaff, even though I don't want to, and there is... like, Wagstaff wouldn't even speak to me anymore because I made him angry by thwarting his plans. And there doesn't seem to be a logical reason for why I should. So I'm just going to redo it and refuse him and see where that leads, because I want to side with Reef-Talon herself. Now, most of it will be a rehash of what already happened, so I will just speed it up and denote it clearly in the description. If anything new happens that has not happened in the previous run, I will also denote it in the description with like a new in brackets or something, so that you can check it. But I imagine this episode will mostly be a rehash, and I'll get to the point where I'm talking with Reef-Talon, but after refusing Wagstaff. So, yeah. I don't think I clicked this before. I don't remember those skill checks. I need to speak to the sages. Fat chance, Fatebinder. I'll respect your rights as Tunon's lapdog up to a point. She jabs a finger at a shivering bloodstained sage. Your title is the only thing that separates you from these traitors. And the rat will drive a spike up my ass if he learns that I let you talk to them, so no fucking way. Yeah, I'll be going, cause last time I helped those two escape, and I will do it again. At the end of the road, a small child crouches next to an abandoned wagon, rummaging through its contents. From afar, she resembled a bedraggled urchin, smirking face lined with dirt, her tunic torn and thoroughly stained. She spots your approach and lets out a small yelp, sprinting off into a copse of trees and vanishing from view. Chasing down random children is not something I would do in real life, but I am going to do in the game because I'm curious. Follow the girl. You follow the child as she weaves between the trees until the forest gives way to an open field with a small farmstead, empty from the last harvest. The girl leads you across the grounds, past two empty houses and a row of clay beehives, eventually racing into an open barn. As you enter after her, you see a clutch of children huddled in the rear, trembling as you approach. There are 6 in all, gaunt faces and tired eyes shared among all of them. One boy drops a small knife as you approach, letting it vanish within the folds of straw at his feet. The children swear that they are alone, claiming to be orphans from a massacred village. They fled during the fighting and retreated into the farmstead. Its owners, they claimed, were slain by Kairos's forces. The barn is full of harvested rye and a few jars of stored honey. No doubt the reason why these children are still alive. Well, what about the empty cart though? Aren't you like a band of thieves? Some of the children exchange concerned glances before the little girl you trailed speaks up. Her voice wavers as she blurts out stammering explanation. The cart was likely used by a traveling merchant and abandoned once soldiers clashed in a nearby area. Her eyes flick to the ground for a brief moment, long enough to follow its gaze to a leather boot, barely visible between the tied bundles of standing straw. You push past them and kick aside the bundles, revealing a corpse of a middle-aged man with multiple puncture wounds in his neck and back. Yeah, this is horrifying. I'm not equipped to do something like this because obviously this is deeply wrong, but they are children in wartime. I assume they killed him because they were hungry, or something, or afraid. I feel deeply uncomfortable about the idea of executing children, even for murder. The children gasp at the revelation and some begin to cry. The young girl pleads innocence, claiming the man discovered the farm and attacked her, pinning her in the straw between her friends, before her friends returned and stabbed him to death. She begs you to believe her. Send them to train as spies for Tunon's court, but yeah, all of those options suck. I would prefer to leave them just food. I think, because, that might be true, what she's saying, but it also might not be, and I have a feeling it isn't. They might have literally killed him just on their own. And I feel like rewarding that with money sends the wrong message. But there isn't even, like, I could burn down the farmstead and like chase them off, which, like, this requires an actual working government of some sorts, to the degree that, because it isn't just a matter for courts. In today's society, this is very much something that, child sort of, what is it, child protective services, or like child psychologists should take a look at, because those are extreme circumstances. As I said, if they were adults, I might have killed them, but I feel children obviously shouldn't and can't be held to the exact same standard as adults. So I think I'll just leave them some food. Like, it sends the wrong message, but sending them to Tunon to be trained as spies, like, I don't trust Kairos far farther than I can spit, and in fact I am in open rebellion against him, so like, I would prefer to just give them food, so that they don't have to kill any more people for it. But okay. The stored supplies will last the children another season, but not much beyond that. You open your pouch and hand the children a few pieces of cured meat, and more importantly some rings, advising them to find a nearby settlement and seek out care. The group is grateful but cautious, not budging from the protective cluster until you step out of the barn. The farmstead isn't very visible from the main road, but trails leading to it, marked by worn bush and flattened grasses, will be spotted by other travelers. The orphans cannot hide for long. Yeah, that's horrifying. Oh, I think I didn't click this the last time. I think I went straight up to the killing blow. So you've done a terrible thing. Many would call an execution here and now just. I thought it might come to this. He crouches down and strokes the corpse's blood-stained fur. I knew her and her cubs. Fierce warriors. She killed a lot of bane, which means she saved many lives. An uncontrollable tremor engulfs his hands. Tonves forces himself up and away from the beast woman, unable to hide the anguish on his face. I betrayed her and so many others. Jaspos may have demanded it, but he didn't guide my hand when I slew them. I accept your judgment, whatever it is. This life is a far cry from anything I ever wanted. If you send me to the void, well, at least I won't have to spend my days pretending not to hate myself. Yeah, at least, like, I respect him a little bit for at least acknowledging how horrible all of this is. Which is in stark contrast to Insipid Moniker, who's actually proud of torturing the Beastman. You meant well, but this is no excuse for murder. For these crimes I must sentence you to death, which is what happened last time. Okay, so I noticed that Mell has a new dialogue line that I don't think he had before. Salutations, Fatebinder. Things have gotten a bit tense since your arrival here in the Wound. You've managed to offend both Wagstaff and Jaspos. Agitating one is a trivial feat, but getting them to unite in their distaste of you is quite an accomplishment. You probably noticed that both Jaspos and Wagstaff offer much to our settlement, and you've likely noticed that while they both want the Bastard Wound to prosper, they are long past working together towards that prosperity. But there's another way the Wound could succeed, if you're interested. What do you have in mind? Nobody likes to admit it, but the place ran best when Reef-Talon was in charge. I know you're probably thinking this place needs a leader, not a prima, but Jaspos and Wagstaff are going to get most or all of us killed eventually. If Reef-Talon is alive, she needs to be convinced to come back home. Reef-Talon created the Sleepless, right? Why would you want her back? Yes. And I can be furious over what happened to Lekseme, or I can focus on the future of the settlement. I refuse to believe she intentionally sickened people, and I think she has, instead, she has magical powers she just needs help controlling. Besides, maybe there are some who were healed by her who didn't become sleepless. You think maybe she healed someone that didn't become sleepless? Huh. It was just a cut, the smallest thing. Mell shows you his lower arm. Whatever scar he's intending to show is long gone. She pressed her hand on it and it got better. I said nothing for fear of drawing suspicion, but in truth, I felt quite fine, though I'd be lying if I said I can sleep easy as of late, but it's because I miss Lekseme. I'm sure the affliction isn't actually settling in, or at least I have to think that way. What do you get out of this? I get back a leader that doesn't fear the Bane, and the only one who can order around all the beasts without protracted argument. The young sage lets out a long sigh, shaking his head, and maybe if I could study Reef-Talon, and I could find a way to reverse the sleepless disease. It's a silly wager, but it'd be the hope of saving Lekseme, if she's still alive. How would one bring back Reef-Talon? You'd have to find her and convince her to come back, or take advantage of her nature. Her kind uses strength as a form of debate. From what I know of her, she left out of self-loathing over the sleepless, so the trick is convincing her that there is hope. I share Lekseme's conviction that Reef-Talon didn't intend to make anyone sleepless. Lekseme hypothesized that it was an unintended side effect of an inexperienced, untrained mystic, meaning that such things could be corrected with training. I know that Lekseme was writing about the subject right before she stopped being able to write. If you could find her corpse down there, I can't imagine the Bane ate her notes. Reef-Talon might be too stubborn to ever come back. Many of us miss her. We would forgive her if she would forgive us. Yeah, I'll try to find Reef-Talon. The access to the depths of the Oldwalls, you need the keystone that Insipid Moniker carries. You know what she's up to, right? I imagine you should be able to leverage her cooperation with that information. Might I suggest searching the Abyss? None of our hunting parties have caught sight of Lekseme, so I suspect she's descending far into the Oldwall depths. He suddenly recalls something hastily and ruffles through his pouches. Here, take this. It's called the Warden's Key, one of the last. Forged in a rare moment of cooperation between Jaspos and Wagstaff, they say it may be used to interact with the oddities in the Oldwalls from a distance, like those beacons we often see. Come to think of it, I haven't seen an Insipid Moniker recently. Even though they hate each other, she would sometimes join Tonves on a game of hunts on the surface. I suspect she's unsettled without something to do with her blades. He rolls his eyes. At any rate, she always keeps the keystone close, so we won't be able to enter the Oldwalls without finding her first. Best to make your journey as quick as possible. Jaspos and Wagstaff have already sent some of their hunting parties into the depths. Their best men, I'd say, hard looks among them all. Can't be for any good purpose. My bet is that they are looking for Reef-Talon and not for a cordial conversation. Yeah, so this is exactly what I wanted in the first place. But my point is that it's illogical that yeah, Chaos Blast is a pretty cool spell. It's illogical that that I was softlock. Like, what was stopping him from offering me an alternative? Anyway, he could be like, I know you talked with Wagstaff, but there is another way, maybe consider that. And I would have jumped on it like a rabid dog. I think I'll speed up most of the exploration and fighting through the Oldwalls, because obviously you've seen it already. If something new or unexpected happens, I will showcase that. Yeah, the layout is slightly different, I think, than when I was walking the other path. I've lost it, gone, forever lost. A glassy-eyed man sways on his feet, his countenance sickly pale and ashen half-circles clinging to the underside of his eyes. He stares forward, gaze unfocused, seemingly unaware of your presence. It must be in the water. I should keep swimming, swimming always upstream. Yuda, have you seen it? I've talked with him, so I'll speed it up. I think the dialogue might be a little bit different. There's the bastard, just as Wagstaff said. Scanning the area for Bane, the heavily armed man signals his companions to draw their weapons. Nothing personal, just a job that needs doing. Reef-Talon is ours, and we can't let you have our hunting you hunting our prize. His allies bellow boisterously in support, banging their weapons against breastplates and shields. Don't worry, we'll kill you quicker than the Bane would. Such a courtesy is the least we could do. Step aside. Is this really how you want to die? Your confidence is great. Nothing worse than killing someone who doesn't believe in their worth as a warrior, but our honor is on the line here. He looks back at his company with a grim nod. Let's earn our pay. Remember, kill the Fatebinder, but don't bloody the face. We'll need the proof of the deed. Oh, okay, this is new, because last time Wagstaff sent me, instead of Mell, Mell sent me here. I'm Stanis Javert, and I'm here to find Reef-Talon. Mell! The name squeaks out of her with a gasp as her body becomes rigid, her face livid with focus. Mell sent you? Then he's alive, and the wound has not gone entirely to ruin just yet. Having experienced the sleepless touch of Reef-Talon, I am certain she used her fledgling magic to heal. She just didn't know, nor could have known, the cost of her actions. Reef-Talon is an anomaly. She has the power of a beast-woman mystic, but she was improperly trained. She claimed being here in these Oldwalls strengthened her connection with the arcane, and I suspect it's a case of too much power in unskilled hands. I spotted Reef-Talon examining the carvings down here. Maybe you've spotted them, they look like primitive murals. My operating hypothesis is that the place has strengthened her magic, just like a spell is cast with more force near a spire. I think this place makes Reef-Talon's latent spark of mysticism into something substantial. Tell me about those murals. There are a few of them down here. Each of them appears to be very old and made by claw and rock, not hand and paintbrush. I've spotted Reef-Talon examining them, and while that proves only correlation, not causation, it does make me wonder. It's also a bit of a leap, I realize, but the way you and I have scrolls and letters, perhaps the beastmen can write symbols and share magic with each other in ways beyond our ken. She shrugs, and a sad smile stretches across her face. This is the best hypothesis I have. I mean, what's the alternative? She learned magic from listening to the Bane? That's a horrifying thought. What do you know about Reef-Talon's magic? Not enough. She didn't mention being a mystic when we first got acquainted here, which is odd. Beast women tend to boast about such things. Reef-Talon must fear for constant challengers. Why hide such power? We have been here for a span or two when someone got hurt, and Reef-Talon calmly offered to help. She placed her hand on someone's broken leg, and to everyone's amazement, it just mended. I was amazed, but I had seen beastwoman mystics before, so foolishly I just didn't think to ask more questions. She used this healing trick several more times before we realized the long-term harm of her curative magic. For me, it's odd that she signed her magic so quickly. I couldn't even see what archon she was channeling, nor she would ever tell me. What can be done to help her? Above all, Reef-Talon values the people of the wound, and so her grief over harming them, even accidentally, is overwhelming. I think she needs insight into her own magical prowess and reassurances that she can prevent making others sick with her magic. If she weren't afraid of her powers, she might realize the wound needs her. But she's a stubborn wall of muscle, or even... so even helping her come to terms with her magic might not be enough. Beastwoman respects strength, and she might just need someone to knock sense into her, but ideally, better to help her come to terms with with those powers of hers, if possible. So where is she? She sealed herself in a nearby chamber. Many sleepless have come down here. Some to worship and some with hostile intent, most looking for answers, but I do think the sleepless only serve to remind Reef-Talon of what was done. I will seek her out. Excellent. Take this keystone. It should grant you the access to the room of the east where I last saw her. Speak with her and show her patience, and see if you can glean something from these old murals. Reef-Talon was a great shepherd to the bastard wound. If she could be cured of her agony, she could once again be a great leader to our enclave. Interesting. So this time she didn't lead me into a trap, because I guess she isn't afraid I'll hurt her. Reef-Talon. But first, let's go through those things that I've went through last time when she tells me about herself and about the sleepless. Okay, once again, I will quote-unquote condemn her to live and research the sleepless condition.
Most sensible adults enjoy sleep. You know, from time to time.
The woman stands quietly as you approach. She focuses intently on the markings on the wall before her. You wouldn't happen to know anything about those murals, would you? Visibly startled by your voice, she glances in your direction, eyes only briefly breaking contact with the mural. Sorry, I didn't see you there, she frowns. I'm not all gone yet, but I can tell I'm starting to slip. These murals weren't made by humans, that's about all I can tell you. There isn't anything else you can tell me? I have seen the beastmen from above come down here and look at them on occasion. They don't stay long though. I don't think they understand them any more than we do.
Right.
Fatebinder. Paint wall speaks of what kills and knew that beast. Deep dark.
Yeah, it is an artifact. Okay, great. The beast woman waits by the dust-caked altar, head bent downward in contemplation. A deep, gravely rumble emanates from her chest as you cross the chamber's threshold. With a loud chuff, she turns to face you. A fierce pair of ice-blue eyes watch you with murderous intensity. Claws dig deep into the stone floor. Kills in shadow bristles her fur. Prima of the Wound tribe is impressive. Not as impressive as Kills in Shadow, but mighty all the same. Stalkers and hunters, Bane and mystics, all come to spill Reef-Talon's lifeblood. Beastwoman must climb deep, bow where light does not follow. She watches you intently, her ice-blue eyes piercing the chamber's shadow. She places her knuckles upon the cold stone floor, muscles coiled menacingly. Fatebinder creeps to the Beastwoman's den, bathed in the blood of the Wound Warriors. Why should Reef-Talon speak with the human? I'm here to help you. We can bring an end to the sleepless. Human is arrogant, speaks of sleepless like a rival clan, as if a simple blood right can tame dreamless wanderers. Does Fatebinder not realize that the poison within Reef-Talon gave birth to the sleepless? Why does Fatebinder think Reef-Talon skulks in this deep dark pit? Beastwoman does not fear hunters, does not fear scourge beasts, only fears poison inside Reef-Talon. If Oldwall's hollow, Beastwoman cannot steal dreams of clanmates. Wound tribe is safe with Reef-Talon forgotten in this wretched deep. Why flee the wound? You could have simply stopped using your magic. Too dangerous. What if Reef-Talon's milk sickens cubs? What if blood corrodes tinker tools? Too much to lose. Reef-Talon will take no chances, will stay confined in the depths. What do you hope to gain from hiding here? Not hiding, I'm saving others. Her breath clouds the cool air, her words sharp and prideful. Reef-Talon could not let corrupting power harm kin and kith. Left home then, but did not abandon tribe, did not run and hide, but does not know what will solve the problem. Are you content to let the Yaspos and Wagstaff lead your tribe? Would hope Ocean Mystic and Stonecutter choke on their own hatred. Reef-Talon is no longer Prima, so cannot be concerned by such matters. Can you be sure that your powers won't manifest in a new way that harms the settlers even from here? Beastwoman did not envision this. Reef-Talon's hackles rise in alarm. Fatebinder speaks of possible truth. Sleepless poison is created by mending touch. What if the same corruption grows stronger and spreads from afar? She glances down at the leathery pads of her palm. Perhaps Reef-Talon has been cursed for trespassing where human Prima called Kairos forbids. How did you come to find the wound? For a moment her eyes grow distant and shed their intensity. Reef-Talon has lived 4 lives. First she was Manta-born, free in the islands near human lands called Stalwart. Second life she was a slave. She chuffs and banishes the thought with a shake of her head. Third life was Prima to the Wound tribe. And now Reef-Talon lives a 4th life as a wretched outcast, skulking deep in the pits of Oldwalls. What was your life as a Manta-born like? Manta-born are warriors of land and ocean, more free than land-trap beastmen. Island kith are not quarrelsome like the Tears tribes, not always leading packs to rend, rake, kill rivals over parched land. Island warriors respect tribe boundaries, where sand meets water. Beastwoman has no need to fight other tribes. Mother Ocean provides great maws and deep lurkers to test warriors and mystics, to keep Manta-born strong. Reef-Talon's mouth stretches in a knowing smile. Has Fatebinder wrestled with the black-eyed great maw with head and tail of spears? Or killed a clean-skinned lurker with glowing fangs and snakes for limbs? Has human ever heard the deadly song of stinging cloud and stayed awake? Manta-born does not need tribal war to stay fierce. Hunt, bleed, feed packmates. She bobs her head at the fond memory. Was a good life. The Beastwoman extends a claw towards a nearby chasm. Oldwall waters are easy for Reef-Talon to swim, not afraid of dark waters, though scourge beasts sometimes lurk in dark places. Tell me about your time in slavery. Was less than 7 years ago. Reef-Talon awoke to the nest beset with humans. Human tribe answering to Prima's Stridus overwhelmed Reef-Talon and kin. Likely survived only because humans desired captive muscle, not roasted beast. She narrows her eyes, ruminating over some remembered detail. Long did Reef-Talon toil in confinement until the mystics from the Chorus tribe came one morning to the human den. As humans drank feasted over moonless night, blood rage filled Reef-Talon and the other captive kin. The hair on the Beastwoman's back stands erect as she speaks. She only saw red. Awoke to the butchered captors and freedom. Reef-Talon does not know what fever possessed other beastmen, did not think to ask, thought only to escape. Though you were not witness to the events, you've heard rumors of the Chorus blood chanters performing all manners of arcane experiments on the Manta-born, the indigenous beastmen of Stalwart. Though you know little of what the study involved, this beast is proof that at least one victim survived the blood chanters' curiosity. So you learned magic from the Manta-born mystics. No, Manta-born groomed Reef-Talon for such role, but only for a season. Outsiders came, mystic paint came off, war paint came on, and the tribe was shattered. Reef-Talon was never given rites of initiation, is not deserving of the ancient title. How did you come to read the wound, even if briefly? Did not come to wound to be Prima, but once arrived, Reef-Talon was the only proper answer, was best at hunting new prey, showed kin and kith how to slink through the deep dark, how to hold ground against the scourge beasts. All beasts bowed to Reef-Talon. Once, Wound Clan gathered to discuss scourge hunts in Oldwalls. Stonecutter and Ocean Mystic could not agree on a plan, wished only to bicker and yell, until Reef-Talon roared and the whelps cowered. Tribe only knew Prima Reef-Talon could maintain order, until the tribe became fearful of Prima's magic. Then Beastwoman could no longer inspire order, only fear. Tell me more about your healing abilities. Does Fatebinder remember the time before knowing to crawl? Beastwoman did not know such powers existed until packmates were already mended. She shrugs with a scowling grimace. Have no answer for Fatebinder or for Beastwoman. How did these powers awaken in you? Beastwoman cannot say for sure. Her hands gesticulate wildly, but for a time no words come out. Ever since coming to this place, Reef-Talon feels the hum of magic, but did not feel it until it already happened. Packmate was injured on patrol, and Reef-Talon ran to clutch the injured whelp. Beastwoman remembers healing lifeblood from inside the dying body and roared it to obey. That's when Mending Right began to knit flesh, and that's where Reef-Talon's shame began. Why do you think those healed become sleepless? Can't describe the sensation of healing power, but not the meaning. She pauses to think, listlessly tracing a painted symbol on her chest with a claw. When human lies on the ground with lifeblood pouring out of the wounds, Reef-Talon can sense blood rage inside the dying creature, and when Beastwoman touches paw to human, Reef-Talon can stoke blood rage to live longer, to demand blood to keep pumping. I'm not explaining it right, no, I can't. But Mystic Gift always goes too far, always. Mending Right's grab of the life spark stretches far and fast until extinguished, snuffed, drowned. After Right, human wounds close and the lifeblood dries, but the life spark is gone. Healed human is hollow, does not remember pain or pleasure, does not dream, is sleepless. Do you think being inside the Oldwalls gave you these powers? She shrugs, scratching her head with a gruff sigh. Maybe. Reef-Talon was never properly taught to be mystic. Power always feels like it's coming from within Reef-Talon, but maybe Oldwall's awoken Mending Right? Tell me of the sleepless. The Beastwoman bristles at the mention. Greatest of shames, Reef-Talon has sickened own tribe with dreamlessness. Do you know how they were created? Beastwoman only knows the sleepless were birthed from mystic strength, from Reef-Talon's corrupting touch. Dark powers extinguished lifespark of dying human. After Mending Right, human looks like living warm blood, but carries hollow death on the inside. She looks away, ashamed. Why are they down here? After Mending Right, dreamless kith smell like spent flame. Hearts do not beat with purpose or desire to live. Dreamless always call out to Reef-Talon, beg mewling for answers. Reef-Talon has none. The Beastwoman covers her ears with her hands. Sleepless brood will not leave Beastwoman. Always reminder of failure. Any idea why the Bane ignore the Sleepless? Same question ponders Reef-Talon. Scourge beasts seek blood out of Beastwoman, but never the Sleepless kith, even the noisy Sleepless. Reef-Talon thinks Sleepless cast no scent for the Scourge beasts to smell, no dreams to tempt ancient hungers. I've seen only human Sleepless. Are there no Sleepless beasts? Not yet. Used Mending Rights on beasts in pack, but saw no dreamless scar. Do you know of any way to cure them? If Beastwoman knew, would have already tried. Human sage called Lekseme insists that the Reef-Talon has gift, can mend better but is wrong. It is folly to try, must never use the wretched gift again. Let's speak of something else. It's time for you to return to the wound in one form or another. Human will leave this place. Nothing to discuss. Leave Reef-Talon to suffer with the withered kin. Let finding Reef-Talon fade from memory. Lekseme believes that you can control your powers, maybe with some help. You can learn to control your powers, maybe with some help. Why does Fatebinder trust chirping of human mystic that roams dark holes? Reef-Talon has watched Lekseme speak with her own shadow, or sit on a damp cold floor to sing to ancient stone. As her eyes follow a trail of cascading dust, a contemplative purr vibrates against the back of her throat. But Fatebinder's goal is wise. Reef-Talon can fill mystic strength in blood, like ocean storm. Beastwoman's blood is not tame, will flow like a petulant cub. So what do you know about the murals in these Oldwalls? can see the shapes and shadows telling stories, and know the stories are made of claw and brushed by fur. She sits back on her haunches and gazes towards the blackened ceiling. Well, Reef-Talon does not know, but humans too puny to carve, and doubt that the Bane pawpaw on walls. How did the powers awaken in you? Okay, this was already mentioned. What's the alternative? Learn to tame your powers and become more, or you wither away in these old walls. The beast woman snorts defiantly, but averts her gaze. Slowly she bobs her head in agreement. Fatebinder is correct. Reef-Talon should not hide or run from strange power, like cowardly pack whelp not fit for breeding. Must learn to dominate mystic strength, just as Alpha controls an unruly pack. A disheveled Lekseme shuffles into the chamber, interrupting Reef-Talon's moment of self-reflection. Then we've agreed. I had a feeling you'd rouse her to action. We should move quickly. My mind wanders, and I'll not squander this chance while I'll still have my wits. What? I don't understand how any of those responses relate to what she says. Is there something missing? I will glare silently until the topic of the conversation gets more elaborated upon. Reef-Talon, I believe the ancient paintings in these Oldwalls are a key. Your powers didn't really manifest until you were here in the wound, and you've been down among the corridors and murals prior to your power first manifesting, and if I'm correct, these murals convey magic in a similar fashion to how we sages convey knowledge along parchment. At the very least, there's little harm in testing my hunch. Already displaced changed Reef-Talon, made Beast Woman's touch heal for a moment but sicken forever. With a violent lurch, she slaps herself across the face, must swim in ancient magics until strong enough to understand, or drowned and no longer a threat. We will go now. Meet Fatebinder through quickly pad to the east. Fatebinder, you may have run across some of those old murals in your time here. Look them over, and I'm sure you'll glean some insight into that Reef-Talon can put to use. She marks the locations of a few of them on your map. The one that Reef-Talon refers to is just through the teleporter down the hallways to the east. We'll await your return there. Fatebinder, you should have Reef-Talon's knife. She draws what must be a small blade to her, but a proper sword in your hand from her bandolier. With her head bowed, she hands you the weapon. Brought good luck to Reef-Talon in deep dark. Will bring good luck to the Fatebinder. Also has too much stink of blood from humans, Reef-Talon trained to hunt. Much better that Fatebinder has it. Okay, I'm pretty sure I have already dealt with the other thingamajigs. Use a teleporter in the room to the east to travel to it. Which room to the east? Fractured depths. Yeah, that's not really to the east though. Oh. Okay, it just opened right now. So I didn't miss it before, it was just closed.
Huh. Can't do that.
Well, this is interesting.
Reef-Talon stands in solemn silence, observing the paint-stained wall with an intensity normally reserved for potential prey. Nearby, Lekseme scribbles furiously with a pen and parchment in hand, shaking her head occasionally to maintain her waning focus. The mural before you is of considerable size and detail, stretching to cover a large swath of otherwise unbroken Oldwall's masonry. In it, a beast-woman-like figure adopts a dramatic pose, head arched backwards. In mid-delivery of a tremendous roar, the creature's claws have hooked through her own ribs, ripping them apart. Blood and viscera spill forth from her chest, along with brightly colored tendrils. At the base, many crouched spectators are painted in shadowy tones. The beast woman finally breaks from her anxious stare. See? Oldwall's ancestors left a dire warning of beastman fate. She rakes her claws violently against the looming mural. Scourge beasts were born of beast woman in painting. Reef-Talon first feared corrupting power of mystic strength, but now sees all beastmen hold corruption deep inside. The beast is roaring before onlookers. Is this a warning or a display of victory? No beast woman would rip open guts to please crowd. Foolishness, it's a warning. Reef-Talon slams her fists to the ground to punctuate her point. The sage ceases her scribbling. Reef-Talon may sadly be right. Her tone grows increasingly bitter as she speaks. Her touch did, of course, strip me of all magical facility, and the Bane notoriously feed on all magic things. Who is to say that the mural isn't a damning testimonial about her kind and their role in the birth of these abominations? Of course, there are many ways to interpret such a vague relic of history. What do you say, Fatebinder? Well, examine the beast woman. The colorful twirls pouring out of the beast woman's wound seem to be too stylized to simply be blood or viscera, and details such as eyes and talons on the twirls suggest that the spirals of color are bane. Whether the beast woman is ripping herself open or the bane are exploding out of within her seems open to interpretation. It looks as if the beast woman is releasing the bane. She leaves through a journal and pauses momentarily upon passage. I thought this seemed oddly familiar. Did you note that beastmen are in a habit of consuming friends and foes alike upon death? There's not much left of bane after a fight. Granted, I have observed Woundkin occasionally lapping up Scourge essence. Judging by their facial expression, it was decision often regretted. I feel only hatred for Scourge beasts, need to rip, rend, tear Oldwall's prey, burn strong in old beastmen. Painting does not make sense. How can beast woman give birth to bane, if hunting bane at the same time? Perhaps it's something more akin to a display, like a beastman is showing something. This looks like suicide. Do beastmen ever do something like that? No, beastwoman always fights to the bitter end. When old rot sets in, maybe seek death in battle to ease burden on the tribe, but never claim own life. That is the way of soft humans. I can't say this image recalls anything I've seen in the Woundkin, or any records I've come across on the subject. Beastmen do tend to go down fighting. Self-destruction is deeply frowned upon in their kind. Examine the figures. Several beastmen have been arranged in line, heads bent at a downward angle, crouched low on all fours. Compared to the beastwoman featured prominently in the painting, the remaining figures have been drawn in less detail. Their facial features have been left entirely blank, complicating their interpretation. Is posture of bulwark submitting to the alpha? Painted beasts supplicate to painted beastwoman. There's far too little detail to be certain of that. The figures could be cowering in fear. That certainly would be my reaction if monsters started springing from your entrails. Look at how they are being drawn. The beastmen aren't showing their fangs or claws, they aren't being aggressive. An interesting observation, I'll note it along with the rest of my findings. The intentions of the deceased beastmen artists are difficult to clarify. I can't say... Okay, she said that already. Examine the bane. You brush a layer of accumulated dust from the wall to better observe this section. The creatures emerging from the beastwoman's ribcage appear to be flying out and away in a range of directions. Streaks of purple, blue and red have been used to form wispy tendrils, with hints of claw embedded in the skin, with hints of claws embedded in the amorphous shapes. Upon closer examination, the claws appear to be broken. Strange shapes must be Oldwall's beasts. Painting must be a warning from past tribe. Cannot see any other reason for the confused etching. Look, the claws and teeth appear to be broken. This could suggest that the Bane have lost their power somehow. A clever observation. I know I'd feel slightly better about birthing a harmless Bane than a full-sized monster if I had to choose. She sits back on her haunches, watching the mural with a curious tilt. Fatebinder words are true. All island warriors have a strong fang and claw to defend tribe. A prima with broken fangs cannot lead clan warriors. Scourge beast with broken fangs is an easy prey. Ancestral painting shows important moment in Oldwall's past. Even strongest prima cannot tear open chest and survive. If Scourge beasts can burst from Beastwoman's chest, perhaps even greater Dark Shadow Brute will rise from Reef-Talon's bones when Beastwoman is dead. The image isn't reassuring, true, but let's not make definite conclusions just yet. Humor me and pretend I'm right, and these murals are like scrolls, symbols that teach. Being here in the wound unlocked something in you. What if it's just the start of your power? A sudden jolt shakes the ground as Reef-Talon stamps in disapproval. No, Reef-Talon cannot ignore the ancient portents. Mystic strength has already corrupted Woundkin, has corrupted Lekseme. Beastwoman will not risk giving birth to dark terrors. Must first know that deep rumination will not bring harm to the wound. There's also a possibility she's an Archon. No one taught her this magic. By the strictest definition, she's manifesting an innate power. An Archon, you think? Her? I suppose it's possible. There are Beast Archons. Are there Beast Archons? I guess there aren't any to my knowledge, but... It's not impossible. I mean, I've heard of the Archon of Serpents, that is a giant talking snake, but I've also heard that he just changes into one. Sage Quillborn speculated that there have been beastmen with the Exarch gift, as it were, of having the potential to be Archon, but brutal competition and the lack of training keep them from making it into the Chronicle. Beastwoman Archon lived in Kill Shadow's tribe, was mighty Shadowrunner, second mightiest of all. Humans tell no stories of Beastwoman Archon, but does not mean Beastwoman Archon did not exist. That could be what's going on here, some sort of latent talent coming to life. I find it an odd coincidence that where such power that here is where such power comes to light. If that is true, all the more reason we need to understand this. Enough. Reef-Talon tires of being discussed like a meal. If humans think Reef-Talon so powerful, Reef-Talon will listen, but will prove humans wrong in the end. There's more than this painting to inform us. There are others here in those depths. Reef-Talon has heard me prattle about what I've seen, but now we listen to the Fatebinder. Stanis Javert, explore the other paintings and tell us what meanings and portents you infer. Reef-Talon, if you hear out the Fatebinder, that'll be the last we ever press you on this matter. I've already taken a look at them. She chaffs impatiently. Speak now, quick, quick. Reef-Talon does not want to stare any longer at foul wall. What has the Fatebinder seen in old paint walls? I saw a painting that showed a cross-section of the Oldwalls with many different figures entering it. Beastwoman does not care about that picture. What meaning did Fatebinder see in the message from the ancestors? This is all conjecture. Like, I am not confident about any of this. I don't have a strong opinion on this, to be honest. Let's go with this. Like, to I guess inspire confidence in her or something. The Oldwalls once had many different inhabitants, but only one tribe of them survived. Your ancestors were likely that tribe. The sage's eyes widen, the news granting her a surge of energy. Extraordinary if true. That would also mean Reef-Talon's ancestors had to have left these Oldwalls at some point to wander and become the Mantaborn. Perhaps this is sort of a homecoming. She chuffs impatiently. I saw a representation of the Oldwalls being held up by two beastmen. Reef-Talon does not understand. What is meant by this strange painting? Well, it might mean that the beastmen were meant to fight the Bane, and any powers you have gained might be meant to strengthen that. I remember the one you speak of. She produces a journal from her pocket and hastily flips to a particular page. That's right, one of the beastmen seemed to look eager, hungry one might say, for a hunt. The colorful swirls in the mural must have been their way of depicting the Bane. Hunting Bane is good. Reef-Talon is encircled by doubt and riddles in the Oldwalls. Sleepless whelps bray and skulk. Corrupting magic flows through the beastwoman's hands, but Reef-Talon does not question the urge to kill scourge beasts. Urge is clear and good, as full moon during the long ocean night. I saw a wall with a plethora of different handprints. That sounds familiar. Tell me, how did you interpret it? Yes, some of them were indeed made with magic, it seems. They were like indented and burned away. Many of the prints were made with magic, not paint. Beastmen of old wielded incredible powers that probably made your mending rites seem trivial. I thought I was just sleep deprived, but I recall seeing some prints that were burned into the wall without pigment or paint. Your theory has merit. The beasts of these Oldwalls had magic enough to warp stone. Who knows what powerful magics they left behind for their cubs? Look. Reef-Talon raises a foot and spreads her toes apart, revealing thick webbing between them. All beastmen know that each tribe has different traits to help them claim chosen land. Shadowhunter has dark fur as midnight, good for slinking and cowardly battle. Mantaborn has webs in toes for swift deep-sea hunt. She raises her hand, pads facing up. Perhaps power of mending right came to help Woundkin tame Oldwall beasts. Fatebinder's words are interesting. Ancient histories and messages have many layers of meaning, like old scents released from fleshly dug earth. Reef-Talon turns her attention to the beastmen and the Bane immortalized on the wall before you. But what has Fatebinder to say of Beastwoman giving birth to scourge beasts? Reef-Talon only sees creation of dark horror. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I'm kind of just guessing. Like, I don't have a very strong opinion on any of this. It's all very ambiguous. I am mostly choosing my responses in a way to not freak her out. Bane are the beastmen's primary foe and always will be. This is an expression of rage over an endless battle. A beastwoman is unsure of humans' words. Scourge beasts must be vital to strange painting, or ancestors would not place it upon such a wall. She exhales sharply, likely an equivalent to a sigh. Reef-Talon hopes the Fatebinder is correct. Isn't it worth to try to better understand your healing magic? I know this is all very confusing, but the wound still needs you. Humans have yammered like a mystic lost in endless trance. Reef-Talon knows nothing more about the wretched touch, only that Reef-Talon is a curse, a danger to all. The massive beastwoman shakes her head, grumbling with discontent. Her gaze keeps shifting from you to Lekseme and back again. Well, one thing is clear. What you're seeing here is a historical record that makes it clear that the Bane's most hated foe are the Beastmen. That's what the wound needs. Fatebinder is correct. Reef-Talon lives for Oldwall's Beast Hand. Mystic Strength clouds Beastwoman's thoughts with doubt, but hunting Scourge Beasts does not. Reef-Talon is the best hunter in the wound, and still have many lessons for tribe whelps. Killing Oldwall beasts can't be such a bad thing, yes? She moves towards the agitated Beastwoman, placing a hand upon her brawny shoulder. You mustn't give in to doubt. Your abilities are no more dangerous than a sharpened blade in the hands of a human child. Untrained, he's just as likely to hurt those he means to protect as his enemies. You must explore your talents further to avoid harm, not abandon them altogether. She listens in silence, save for a flicker of green flame in her eyes. Slowly she bobs her head in agreement. Beastwoman saw ancient painting and did not have hope, believed that the sleepless corruption was sign of own darkness, but human has offered new insight. Reef-Talon does not believe that the mending rite can be perfected, but must try for the Wound Clan. She chaffs sharply, several times in rapid succession. Beastwoman must learn to control mystic strength. We'll start now and ponder in the presence of all paint walls. I'm glad she's back, but I'm... After several hours of silent meditation, the Beastwoman slowly rises to her feet. Reef-Talon has finished rumination. When Reef-Talon first healed wounded Kith, felt desperation, fear, but did not wish harm. Only two choices. Reef-Talon tries again without fear, or Reef-Talon gives up forever. We'll always try again. Well, if you were to master your skill of healing, your tribe would never falter. Beastwoman will start with those already bound to die without help, but will learn to heal without making sleepless. Yeah, this is actually a very good idea, because, like, if someone is so wounded that they would die anyway, then she could heal them, not kill them, and if they become sleepless and it's, like, too much for them, they can kill themselves, or you can, like, euthanize them, because... Also, there's the question of Mell, right? Who was healed, but is not sleepless, and seemingly has not lost all of his magic either, so maybe she will get better at it eventually. I had hoped this would come to pass. You mustn't tarry in this foul pit any longer then. Return to the wound and make your presence known. People may fear you, but that'll evaporate the moment they realize you are ready to take control of your powers. A pained look comes across her face. I won't be joining you, unfortunately. I can feel my mind decaying with each moment. Soon all this will be but a faded memory. Besides, people won't take kindly to having sleepless shuffling around in the wound, and my presence certainly won't help them accept you. This battle must still be won. A wound will know of the sage called Lekseme, will return and ruminate more by ancient paintings. Perhaps mystic strength can tame even dreamless corruption. She turns to face you, her eyes wild with blue color. Beastwoman will climb to the surface and face Woundkin again. We'll look for the Fatebinder on brood grounds. I have much to contemplate. If you need me, I'll be down here. Meet up with Mell. Okay. But first, I would like to go back to the Havoc and see if anything is up with it, because that is something that disconcerts me a little. I just left it be. It's just chilling. That's a bit foreboding to me. But this episode is a monstrosity, and I'll have to work on it a little bit in editing. So for now, I'm going to save and end it here. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!